Hjertelig velkommen, folkens. Dette er en Trondprod production for Normal i serien på Høy Tid. Dette er sending nummer 3. Sendingen kommer til å foregå på engelsk, og den kommer til å legges ut på SoundCloud og diverse andre steder. Og det er fritt frem til å spre denne sendingen. Well, then I go back to English, since I guess you, Peter, are very comfortable with the Norwegian language.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Peter Muyshondt, am I correct?
Muyshondt, yeah, but it's great.
Okay.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. We are now speaking with Larry Kirk in the United States. I've been talking with Jason Reed in Great Britain, and now we come to Belgium. So I guess have a lot of the same problems. But you have present yourself. You have been a police officer for 20 years, was it?
Yeah, about it. I started doing my operational service in 1995, so it's about 21 years now. I've always been working in operational units, and now I'm a deputy chief of police since a few years now.
So how many years have you directly worked with drug politics?
Well, I haven't been working in a special dedicated unit, because in Belgium there are only a few of those units in the federal judicial police. I've mainly been working in the local police, which is all first line police work, and we deal with drugs as well as any other criminal felonies, whatever. So it's first line policing, and in that capacity we have to deal with a lot of drug issues, dealers and consumers. Do you see,
but you're not working for Leap, I guess. What was your way into Leap? Because a lot of people I spoke with, they didn't start to see that new way to solve the drug problem. You started out as the Normal Police. How did your way was into Leap?
Well, I'm not in Leap. I'm not into Leap, but I'm a policeman, and they've contacted me to start the Leap Belgium chapter, which I haven't done yet. But why did they contact me? Because I'm a police officer in active duty who has been pronouncing himself against the war on drugs and in favor of a legal regulation of all substances. I have lost my brother 10 years ago doing an overdose on heroin, cocaine, and a lot of other stuff, but he died when he was 28 years old, and during that time I was making a career in policing. And it took me some time to look at drug policy in a different way, because we've all been indoctrinated for several years, misinformed, and that is still going on. So once my brother died, there was no way back, and then you start reading, talking to people, trying to deal with the guilt you have, and then you get to learn a lot and see that things are fundamentally wrong as they are going on right now.
A lot of people I speak with in police and community and so on says they see what's happening and they are for changing in politics, but they can't say it out loud, frightened by destroy their own career. Is that the same problem in Belgium?
Well, it is. A lot of people, I think the same way as I do, but they don't speak out, because as policemen we are supposed to execute what policymakers decide for us, and we are allowed to question policy, but it is not always appreciated. But because I have lost a brother, and because I have a high rank in policing, frankly they don't really know how to deal with me at this time, and I'm just putting out some question marks, saying that this actual drug policy is causing more harm than the drug itself, and it is allowed to speak out, but in police culture it's not that common. Let's say that I have the benefit of having lost my brother, which is a strange thing to say, but I feel rather free to speak out now.
You're not afraid of any consequences or what's going to happen?
I have been speaking out. I've been in national media for a few weeks now. I'm asked to speak out on several occasions. I haven't had any problems until now. I met the Minister of Justice. I've been speaking to some presidents of political parties. So I'm not really aiming one political party which could cause trouble. I am talking to everybody who wants to listen in and who is capable of changing policy, which I am allowed. I'm still doing my job. It would be different the day I'm not doing my job anymore. Then I can and I should be in trouble, because if I'm paid to do police work, I have to do it. But meanwhile, I can try to change policy by talking to people who are responsible for the policy.
How much, I said, police, when I come to policing, drug politics must consume a lot of time. It's plenty of time and resources. Am I right if you put that resources, if you cut the way, if you legalize drugs, how much would that help policing really when it comes to other things, like, because you have human trafficking, you have a lot of serious issues here in Norway. We cut investigation of violent crime because of drug politics. How is that in Belgium? How much time do you consume on drug politics benefits on other things?
Well, fighting drugs and dealers and consumers and everything that goes along takes a lot of capacity. It's a huge amount of money that we spend every year on policing the drug war. And not only in policing, it's also in the district attorney and the judges and prison. So it's a huge amount of money that is invested in something that isn't helping anything. But on the other hand, even if you go to a regulated system, you need policing to police a regulated system. There will always be some kind of black market. There will always be nuisance problems that go along, and that's inherent on policing anything. So, but it will definitely cost much less money than it is doing right now. And the money we can save, you could invest in more like social activity or reducing harms, because if drugs are still risky business, there will be people facing troubles using drugs. There will always be people who do not know their boundaries, or who will go into some kind of dependency or become addicts, and then you should invest the money in prevention and healthcare, and not in criminalization or incarceration people using drugs. And if you regulate the market, there will be a lot less crime. Definitely there will be, but there will still be crime, but a lot less than it is causing right now.
I just have your opinion, because in Norway we have so few prisons that we send our prisoners to the Netherlands, because we have too many convictions here of that type of crime. What is your thought about that we're sending people to another country just to keep on our drug war against drugs?
Well, I always thought that Norway had one of the most modern prison systems in the world. So this is new to me. I didn't know you were really sending people abroad to do time behind bars just for drug offenses.
Yes.
I thought you had those nice prisons on islands and where you don't really feel like you are incarcerated, which is a much better way, I think, to get people back in society afterwards. So I didn't know this. It's new to me, Trond.
No, it's we have a conservative government now who they want to be tough on crime. You know that that way of thinking.
It's always good to be tough on crime.
Yeah, when you're having a black tie and you now have to fight crime, then it's always want to play Chuck Norris, and we have that kind of government right now. So we're sending them to the Netherlands because the Netherlands have stopped incarcerating so many people with drug problems. So now they got the Norwegian prisons instead, and they're keeping their jobs. So it's a job program for Netherlands, really. I just ask every policeman in Europe, I come over, what their views on it, and everybody say what, just the same as you do.
Well, I'm learning every day. The more I'm into the topic, the more stupid I feel, and the less I know. That's the impression I have. The more I read and talk about it, I always feel like I'm, and 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 and, and I have to be honest. I have read a lot and spoken to a lot of people, but then again, I always feel stupid when I learn new things. This is so complex and this is so huge that it's always something new that I learn. This is new to me.
But my curiosity goes is that, how do you want to regulate the drugs?
Well, I think there are markets that are perfectly useful to use as an example. You go to tobacco, or you go to alcohol, or you go to legal medicine, or you go to fat meals. There are a lot of things that are riskful, that have risk when you take them, but that are completely regulated and under supervision of authority. We will never buy a bottle of wine in a shop that has been contaminated with some product that you don't know, just to make more wine and have more bottles to sell. You buy something that can be risky. That if you use it too much, you will get problems. But on the other hand, you buy something, you can read the label, what's in it. You have a fair price. There is some quality control, and I know that if I drink too much wine or beer or liquor or whatever, there are some health issues too, and I can become dependent on alcohol. So I know it. There is correct information about it, which there isn't when it concerns other products that are now illegal. So you have markets that could be completely useful to focus on and to copy. In fact, just copy the way those things are organized. Learn from countries where they have experiments, and it's, to my opinion, it's completely feasible to regulate every product in which is available and that people consume for decades, and they will be consuming for centuries to come. So you can perfectly regulate those markets. There will always be risk. It would be completely stupid to say that regulated markets will not have any damage or not cause any troubles. That would be completely stupid. But the actual policies cause a lot more damages than regulated markets ever will.
Somebody like me have compared this war on drugs with the same war we had on alcohol during prohibition times. A lot of people says, yes, that can't be, you can't compare it because alcohol has always been there and have been part of our culture. What is your comment on that?
Well, cannabis has been used for 3,000 years before Christ. Poppy, opium, there has been discoveries from the same age. Coca leaves have been used by native people in South America. I think they're even older. The use of those products is even older than alcohol. Alcohol has been, let's say, more like a discovery. You put some fruit in a bowl, you put some fermentation in it, like you spit on it, and then you get alcohol. This is the way alcohol has been found some centuries ago. But it's the same like with cannabis and opium, and so those products have been used for the same period as alcohol has. So there's always been use of cannabis, there's always been use of opium, but then when you start put it into the illegality, then you get the stronger products and the variants. Is that the correct word? Variants?
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't have if you let everything in the legal markets. People are not always looking for the most potent product; they're just using for the product.
Somebody said to me, because we have a lot of campaigns here against legalizing any kind of drug here in Norway. You have the police narcotic union organization who travel around to schools and say why they have to punish people. And one of the argument is that you're sending a signal when you punish people. It's also a solidarity with the people